Actually, usually we doing abdominal breathing. So when we exhale, we contract our abdomen, and when we inhale, we expand the abdomen. Who, like this. But I found the Japanese traditional way of breathing was totally different. So it means when we inhale, when we exhale, keep our abdomen expanding. So very calm, body doesn't move at all. Just the diaphragm moving. So we can feel very sensitive for anything like a sound in the nature of the bird, and also for watching something very precisely we can see everything because body doesn't move. So in a calm we can become the member of the nature, and then we can melting in nature's sound and nature world.
Are you curious about discovering ways of making your life better? Then welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Nickman, and this is The Exploding Human. Listen in while I talk with all kinds of people in the fields of personal growth, health and healing, alternative therapies, psychology, spirituality, environment, and the future. I'm looking for those answers that make life better for everyone. You'll meet cutting-edge practitioners, doctors, artists, filmmakers, business people, and those who have overcome challenges. The brave, the curious, anyone who is out there helping us humans to explore, expand, and explode. Hey, welcome to The Exploding Human. My name is Bob Nickman. Today we go to Tokyo, Japan to speak with musician, composer, teacher, band leader Aki Nakamura. This is a little bit of a different episode for me here on the show, but I was very intrigued when I heard about Aki. He started out with a degree in applied chemistry, but soon switched to playing an instrument called the shakuhachi, a Japanese bamboo flute, a wind instrument. He studied classical music, jazz music, among other places, Berklee School of Music in Boston. And he has had a band for decades playing all around the world. And he has developed his own unique type of circular breathing, particularly for this instrument that he plays. But the thing that really intrigued me was that this instrument and the breathing techniques come from Zen teachings and go back to samurai. It's a topic that really interests me because the idea of breath being the first thing that we do as human beings and how that works in the body and how it changes us not just physically but spiritually. And that comes through in his music. I would highly recommend listening to some of his music either before you listen to this episode or after. He draws on many different disciplines and many different influences, some within the same songs. So we talked about all of that and how he developed this circular breathing, which he now teaches, among other things. And he continues to compose and play with his band. Certainly not instruments that I'm used to even hearing, but I loved hearing it and I loved talking to him. So let's jump into it. This is Aki Nakamura. Okay, here we are. Bob Nickman here in Los Angeles. Aki Nakamura in Japan. What city are you in Japan?
Tokyo. Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Everybody knows Tokyo. Okay. So it's about 5 p.m. here in Los Angeles. And it's the next day in Tokyo at 10 in the morning. So what a miracle. What a miracle this internet is. I can talk to somebody in Japan right now. I see you. We're talking. It's fantastic. So thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be here. Here means both California and Tokyo.
So as I was telling Aki before we started to record that I listened, and I recommend this to the audience, I listened to something on YouTube, which was a full concert called Forest, I believe was the name of it. And if you want to get an idea of what he does, that was a great listen because it's such a wide variety of styles and compositions and tones and just really really was very moving. I really loved it. Let's talk about you know what I want to talk about first? The instrument that you play, because I
Mm.
love wind instruments because I
Mhm.
play one. And
Yeah.
let's talk
It,
about your instrument and, the origination of it. It looks like it was made out of bamboo. Am I
yeah,
correct?
uh,
Okay.
the Japanese traditional bamboo flute. We
Bamboo
call
flute. Okay. Hmm.
shakuhachi. Mm.
Okay.
Shaku means inch, and hachi means 8. It means 1 foot. Oh, I'm sorry. Shaku means foot. So shakuhachi means almost 1 foot 8 inches instrument.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's if we're not if you see it when he plays, it's what would you say? It's about 3-4 feet long and kind of thick. It's pretty thick. It's not like a flute. It's like I don't know what you would call it. It looks like it's about 3 inches around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually vertical flute.
Yeah.
And a little bit thicker than Western flute, so we can generate many kind of overtones as we want.
Yeah, it can be very sort of a solid tone and a very airy, breathy tone, and sort
Mm,
of I like the word swooping. It swoops if you need it to. I mean, it does everything. I mean, it's just a really cool instrument. Um, and then I was reading in your bio that it was an instrument played by monks. Is that the
mm,
did I get
yeah,
that right?
originally it was played by Zen monk mainly. Mhm.
And you
And also retired samurai became a Zen monk, and then they played shakuhachi and get an income by that.
and that's is that how you gravitated toward that because of that, or how did you arrive at this instrument? I'm always interested in why people pick the
Mm,
instrument they do, or it
yeah.
picks them. I'm not sure which way it is.
Actually, at that time, that Zen monk was a very special position because they lost the war and then once as a samurai and then became a Zen monk. So it's a very poor but spiritually very high. So they have an intelligence and then they thinking about many things and then so they progressed to the overtone music by that. So very special music.
Well, I'm thinking about when you're playing that instrument. I'm going to see if I can word this the way I want to. Let's talk about vibration and energy. Like, music is the most. If the universe is basically energy and vibration, which I think that it is,
Yeah.
music is sort of the most
Mm,
obvious thing that can change somebody. And
mm,
playing an instrument,
mm,
particularly the one you're talking about, I guess all instruments really vibrate in the way they vibrate, but because you're using your breath and your body, your hands, your breath,
mm,
there must be something going on in your body while you're playing that is taking you places physically as well as through your ears and your
mm,
heart.
mm,
I mean, I can see it when you're playing. I can see it,
mm.
and I think that maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but I think that's one of the reasons you gravitated toward that instrument. There was something there that literally resonated
Mm.
with you as a person.
Yes. Actually, I feel the resonance with anything. Like even the cosmos has some kind of vibration of the each planet, and then also this Earth has some kind of vibration, and then we can feel the some air's vibration, and then also we have to do a breathing. So we have each body has some vibration, and then it becomes a high frequency, and it's music, and then also light. it's a much more high frequency. So all the vibration we resonate to each other together. Mm.
Yeah, I was watching your band, if you want. I guess will we call it a band, an orchestra? I don't know what you,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
whatever you want to call it. And you guys seem to really be very, very connected, like all good,
yeah.
bands. Are
I
these
think
people?
so.
Yeah, are these people that have been in your life for a while?
Yes, we played almost 20 years, but
Oh,
of
okay.
course some member changed. But even their nationality is different, and sexuality also different. But we can get in together by music very easily. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. It's I wish I could play something while we're doing it, but I can't. I don't know how to do that. Was- um, I was very intrigued with the woman. I don't know the instrument, the name of the instrument. It's a string instrument. She has this finger picks.
Mm.
And the one I remember, there was one she was singing, and she had
Uh, yeah, it's a koto. It's called koto, horizontal harp, right?
yes, yeah, yeah. I guess here, like the folk instrument, the auto harp or the dulcimer.
Mm.
No, that's a hammered instrument. It's like an auto harp, but it's bigger, it's wider, and
Yeah,
it's really fun to watch somebody play that. But then she was singing too in this
yeah.
one song,
Mm.
um, and she had a little T-shirt on that said "Freak Out," which I was made me laugh. I just like seeing
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that. I said,
Uh,
is that based on the old Frank Zappa album "Freak Out," or is it just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
was
I'm
it?
very, yeah. I like Frank Zappa very, very much, and I studied Frank Zappa's music a lot.
I thought I heard that in there. A little bit, and I know that he studied a lot of, a lot of classical stuff, particularly Stravinsky and Edgar Varese, however you pronounce it, as well as sort of these conventional old style bebop
Yes,
and doo wop, really, even and
yes, yes.
blues. And so
Mm,
it was really nice to see that that influence was there. And This is what I'm saying, folks. I mean, the music is so rich with styles,
yeah,
and you've incorporated this in a way that is and it's not, the sounds are, the instruments are not instruments I'm used to hearing. At least that the string instrument and the one you play. There
mm,
is a conventional. The one I saw, there was a like a Rhodes piano. I think it was a Rhodes
mm,
piano, and the guitar player, I think, had a red Stratocaster. I was listening,
yeah.
and he was getting some really interesting tones I hadn't really heard out of those instruments, because I'm used to hearing it in rock and blues and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I like Frank Zappa because he's mixing many kind of music, even like a kind of, as you told me, Varis or Stravinsky or very intelligent music, and then also bebop or doo-wop or many ethnic music or people's music getting together. That is my interest. I also studied classical composition and then also jazz composition and then Japanese traditional composition, and then I mixed everything, and then also people's music in Japan and also in America and in Europe.
That's what I loved about it. I was like, oh, this is like anything even within a one song, you're going to hear some of these things going on at the same time, tangents and just different ways of moving through the music with different styles mixed in.
Yeah.
I even sort of was listening. There was some piece, I think it was the one where that woman was playing. There was a lot of nature sounds
Hmm.
that felt very sort of kind of like when I I used to listen to a lot of Stockhausen, I think he's a German composer, and he had a lot of that kind of stuff. And I always found that intriguing to like sitting outside at night and listening to what the animals and the insects are doing with each other. And I think he was trying to capture that. And I felt that you have that sort of similar sense of trying to bring the sounds of the earth onto the stage.
Actually, I played outside with the nature. Sometimes I can feel my sound and nature sound resonate very much. And then sometimes I'm playing something very complex, and the birds respond to me.
Oh, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
The birds are responding to your playing, of course. Why wouldn't they? Wow, that is a beautiful thing. Now, do you play mostly? Are you living mostly in Japan and playing there now, or are you? I know you're all over the world.
Yeah. Actually, I traveled more than 40 countries, and I performed more than 150 cities.
Wow.
When I was young, I did a whole American tour by bus in 2 months. And then at that time, I visited Santa Monica.
That's where I live.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
California also, Los Angeles, and San Francisco.
Yeah, that's there's something about the dedication of a musician that can give them the energy and the drive to lead that kind of a nomadic existence for a certain amount of time per year. It's not an easy lifestyle when you're traveling like that. The music's great, but everything else is very difficult. I think.
Yeah. Actually, Japanese is a kind of agricultural people, so it's not good at traveling.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was young, I traveled a lot in Europe and in America, and especially whole American tour by bus was very hard for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you don't have all your things that you like. You can't eat the food you want. You're staying in places that are maybe not the best. Get the best sleep. It's very challenging for people. So I really have a lot of admiration and respect for people that are willing to do that, and they're doing it for one reason: the music. That's why they're doing it. I mean, yes, you get paid, but that's something else. You can't do that, live that way, unless you love what you're doing.
I'm getting older, so if I got some kind of proposition going around the whole American tour, I'm going to refuse now.
Okay, I understand. Thank you, but no thank you. Because it's Now, how much of your music within these compositions there's improvisation with your band?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm as a rock band, I'm composing a lot, very precisely. But some part I released for all the members to improvise.
Yeah.
Sometimes like with chord, sometimes just with rhythm, sometimes without rhythm, and in many situations.
Yeah. What I really noticed was how generous you were with the other musicians. I really felt that it was not what you may be the leader of the band and the composer, but you're very generous with your players. They have a lot of room to do what they're doing, and it's not just about you, which I thought was really cool. That just to kind of watch you let them be great.
It's a kind of leader's job for everybody can play very well, and we can getting together like a kind of Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's Yeah. I'm just so I had never heard of you until I was contacted. I'm fairly knowledgeable about a lot of different types of music, but I hadn't heard of you, and I was like, oh, I got to meet this guy. I don't even do many shows about music, but I was so fascinated with your story, and that I thought, oh, let's just try this and see what happens, and I'm really enjoying it. Talk to me about the technique of circular breathing. The only person I ever heard about doing that was Roland Kirk, the horn player, and he played 2 or 3 instruments at a time through in his mouth, his nose. I mean, it was extraordinarily interesting. I mean, how do you learn something like that? What is it?
Actually, first time. Ned Rodenberg, who is called the best circular breathing player on saxophone. And then he also sometimes playing shakuhachi. And then he told me he can do circular breathing for saxophone very easily. But for shakuhachi, he couldn't do that. So he told me, Aki, be the first. And then I asked him, for what be the first? And he said, be the first circular breathing player on shakuhachi, he said. And then he taught me the principle of the circular breathing. And then after that, I progressed for shakuhachi. Actually, as you know, Roland Kirk, he expanded his cheek very much. Yeah. But for shakuhachi, if we use cheek, the tone color is gonna be changed. So I try to use this part, the bottom of the chin or jaws.
So the lower part of your jaw and your throat.
Yeah, and like a frog.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
okay.
Push out the air by this part, bottom of the jaws, and then. So I didn't need to change the tone color of shakuhachi. So I'm a kind of just only circular breathing player who can play for shakuhachi.
Wow. So you're the first in 2 things: circular breathing for the instrument and developing a different way to do circular breathing.
Yeah.
How long did that take you? I mean, obviously you're always still working on things, but
yes, more than 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Wow. That's an extraordinary thing. It's you're literally, I mean, to me, that is like sort of when you think about people in monasteries learning breathing techniques for spiritual practice, an instrument to do that too. It really is that to me. It's that you can master your physical in order to get change, how you're communicating. That to me is a spiritual practice. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm giving you big credit here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's courageous to try something like that.
Mm,
Also,
mm,
to do something somebody's never done.
mm,
First of all, there aren't a whole lot of things
mm.
left to figure out that people haven't done because we've been around a long time and there's millions of us. And so to do that, to come up with that and then do it is a real an honor.
Circular breathing progress and also Missoku, Japanese traditional way of breathing, the progression,
Mm-hmm.
that's very close. It's actually different, but the way of using body is very similar some part. Mm.
Okay.
Mm. So could you talk about the Japanese way of breathing?
Sure. Go ahead. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. Mm. I'd like to show this book. Uh,
What is the
this
title of that book? Let me put my glass.
Breathing with Missoku.
Okay.
Mm.
Great. Okay. So
It's going,
did you write this book?
yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be published 26th of November.
All right. Keep holding it up. I want to read it again. Breathing with
Missoku.
Misoko.
Missoku. Yes.
Missoku. Breathing with
Yes.
Missoku. What? Explain that, because that's a
Yes.
book maybe some musicians would like to
Yes.
see.
Yes. Actually, usually we're doing abdominal breathing. So when we exhale, we contract our abdomen,
Mm-hmm.
and when we inhale, we expand the abdomen. Whoo, whoo, like this.
Yeah.
But I found the Japanese traditional way of breathing was totally different. So it means when we inhale, when we exhale, keep our abdomen expanding. So very calm, body doesn't move at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just the diaphragm moving. So we can feel very sensitive for anything like a sound in the nature of the bird, and also for watching something very precisely we can see everything because body doesn't move. So in a calm we can become the member of the nature, and then we can melting in nature's sound and nature world. So like this.
Mm. So this is a breathing technique that's not just for music. It's a life.
Yes, but
technique.
of course this breathing influenced music very much.
Mm.
So in Japan, a lot of calm music was generated by this breathing. If we doing abdominal breathing, much more energetic music was composed, probably.
Yeah, I never really thought about
Mm.
different types of breathing within different cultures. Maybe I never really thought that the Japanese people would breathe in a different way. I just figured everybody on the planet breathes the same way, but they don't. Like it's a natural thing and everyone does it the same. They come out of their mother and they start breathing. But now, is that a learned breathing, or is that something that is inherent to a culture that people learn, just by being raised in a certain family or a certain culture?
Yeah, actually, by this breathing, anything is going to be changed. So many musicians or many actor or actress coming to learn this breathing from me. So if they would like to do some Japanese traditional way, this breathing they must learn. That's why they came here.
So you're teaching this?
Yes, yes. For foreign people, I'm using Zoom and then teaching for Europeans like Swedish and French, and also from the Canada, Vancouver, or Mexico, or Texas.
So do you speak all these languages?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You speak Spanish and French and German and English?
No. Just only English and Japanese.
Oh, okay. So they have to speak one or the other one.
Yes.
Okay. Well, a lot of people speak English around the world.
Yes. It's a work language.
Yeah, I've noticed the little bit I've traveled to other countries. There's quite a few people that are English speaking. I guess I don't know why. It's just United States is the place. I don't know. The people, it's always their second language if they don't live here. When I was I was briefly in Russia about 12 years ago working, and everybody there that I worked with, almost everybody spoke English, and a lot of them spoke French and Spanish. They're very big on learning languages. They like to travel, so they never know when they're going to have to get out of there.
Yeah. I went 3 times, but in these days they don't have a professional taxi driver. So many amateur driver driving as a taxi. So professional driver could speak English very well, but amateur driver cannot speak English well. So I felt Russia is very dangerous for English-speaking people.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just people using their own cars, and they don't have a license to drive anything. They're not supposed to do it, but they do it. It's cheaper. But you're risking yourself if you want to. You don't know who's picking you up.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I had somebody driving me around. I had some people I worked with would drive me, and then they had somebody pick me up to take me to the workplace. So I didn't experience that, but it's quite a place, that's for sure. So it's very different over there.
Actually, this is the first English book I wrote down. I wrote down 5 or 6 Japanese books, and then I published. But this is the first English book.
Okay, so this is the first English book, and people can get it now. It's probably on Amazon or
yes.
Okay.
Now listed in Amazon for each country, so everybody can pre-order now. So please tell everybody.
Yeah, we want you to do well with the book, because it's a good thing that you're putting this out there. And if you think about it, and I'm going to think about it, the breathing is the first thing we do when we're born. It's we gasp for some air, and then we cry maybe, and we breathe.
The influence is for everything: life and health, wellness, and then spiritual things, and also music, or even painting, or even the calligraphy book in Amazon.
I will say it again: breathing with Missoku.
Breathing with Missoku.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. We've made the pitch. People are, and maybe we need a theme song to go with it. Breathing with Missoku.
Thank you.
The first 2 instruments really are your voice, which is breathing and voice, and then hitting on something. whether it's your
Yeah.
body or a drum or something. That's really the first two things that we do. We make noise two ways. When we're they come out of our mouth and our nose, and then our hands hit something.
The voice related with breathing, and even the percussion related with breathing. So I'm teaching the percussion for the percussion player by breathing.
I wish when I started playing, many years ago, that I understood how important percussion was to everything. Because you see a lot of players, particularly young new players, and they play a lot of notes, and they get fancy with their chords and all that stuff, but they're missing the space and the percussion and the thing that resonates with the heart and the body, and they miss that. Certainly the younger people do that because they don't know yet, but. This is my theory that if you want to get good on any instrument, play a percussion instrument too. You don't have to be good at it. Just try it.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
You're right. Because by breathing, Japanese say we can operate the ma. Ma means interval of the timing. Interval of the space. So not only the timing, but also space. So we can manage and control timing and space in the music or for everything. Sometimes we say, your ma is good or your ma is not good. So we can operate by percussion in the music. So sometimes we say yo is a good timing. But for example, yo is not good timing.
That didn't feel so good.
So yes. So we can calculate by breathing.
Well, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. I really did not know anything about what you were talking about. So everything you've said, I've learned something, which I appreciate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was very good. I had a very good time with you.
Oh, thank you. Now, is there I appreciate that. Is there a website or a way for people to connect with you? Because I know you do. So why don't you say it nice and slow so everybody can get it down, and I'll try to repeat it also.
Is akikazu.jp.
Okay, you got to say that. You got to say that in a way that I can.
K-A-G-U. K-A-G-U.
K-A-G-U. What's the last? What's the part? It's not .com. It's what?
akikazu.jp/ and English.
Okay. JP/English. Okay. You should have your the person that books you on these podcasts put that in the description in your bio, so people can. So when I put it in my description, I can put it in there. So.
Oh, thank you very much.
That'd be a nice thing to add for you, so because you want people to get a hold of you. But I'm sure you could probably just go on Google and type in your name, and you'll be able to find them. And I believe it's Akikazu Nakamura. Yeah, that's how I've seen you on the internet, not Aki, but you and I, Bob and Aki. That's what we do.
Thank you very much.
Well, have a great, day here in the morning. I'm going to have some dinner and go to sleep after that. And you're going to start your day. And well, always a pleasure to meet a Zappa fan. Anybody that's into Frank Zappa, I instantly love them. So appreciate that. I didn't know that was going to happen in the talk. So that's super cool. Extra thing that his influence has traveled so far and so importantly. So thank you for that too.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Much appreciation for you folks listening to The Exploding Human. The website is theexplodinghuman.com. There's a YouTube channel where you can listen. That is The Exploding Human with Bob Nickman. Once again, I want to thank Aki Nakamura for being on the show. Have a fantastic day. Thank you.